Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. We got the news that LeBron James is going to be returning to the Lakers this season. We heard it from multiple sources. Now, prior to this news coming out, a lot of us were some of us were a bit hopeful of the fact that maybe LeBron would go to another team. All right, maybe the Dallas Mavericks or the Cleveland Cavaliers or whatever team, right? We thought so, like, okay, given how things ended last season, we thought that, okay, us former Laker fans that are kind of like in recess would have an opportunity to root for the team again this year. Then we got the news that he was going to return. So when we got that news, many of us were just here trying to put the pieces together. Like, why are the Lakers like? I don't understand. Aren't the Lakers trying to win a championship because they just got Luka Doncic, who's supposed to be the star moving into the future? And you know, one would think that, okay, you want to put him around players that are complementary to what he needs to excel on the court. You would want to pair him with a young star and free up some cap space, and just do things that you think normally would occur. But for whatever reason, the Lakers seem to be really holding on to LeBron so tight. I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. So this morning, I was just going through the internet here, and I came across some sound, from Chris Mannix, who I think used to work at FS1 from time to time. Him and Nick Wright used to have their back and forths. And anyway, he was on the Rich Eisen show. And this show actually came out 3 days ago. And Chris Mannix, and the title essentially says, SI's Chris Mannix on LeBron James' true value to the Los Angeles Lakers. And I was like, okay, this is interesting here, because I'm like, maybe what he's going to say in this clip here is probably going to shed some light as to why the Lakers seem to refuse to want to move on from LeBron James. Okay, so what we want to do is going to play exactly what Chris had to say. It isn't really long. I want you guys to listen to it in its entirety, and I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to what he had to say here.
That's the only way that the Lakers and Mavericks make a trade.
You got
right?
only one team of the 29 can be dealt.
So, but LeBron stays, right? He opts in. What do we do here?
I mean, when I talk to people about the LeBron's contract deal, it's just logistically it makes more sense for him to opt in, and then you could extend off that opt in. So if he wants to extend that contract, and we don't know, he might just want to play out the rest of this deal. He can do that. It's a big number for next year.
It's
for
massive.
LeBron James. Massive.
Well, I mean, listen. He's due it. He should get it. I had Rich Paul here. He said they haven't discussed it yet about his long-term future.
Don't really have to. It's really like, what do you want to do, LeBron?
Right.
Well, and we'll do it.
Well, I mean, and the Lakers are clearly one of those people that will say, what do you want? We'll do it. But why wouldn't he basically say, I've got all the money in the world. I need to win one more. Is this like the NFL, where if he takes less, that would be more for others, or there's aprons or rules that would prevent that from actually?
It increases the Lakers' flexibility, and he did that last year with a little bit small haircut on his last contract, where it kept them under that second apron. The truth is, though, LeBron correctly believes that his value massively exceeds his contract. Look, NBA star players make a lot of money. We're trending towards the $1 million per game player, the $82 million per year player. I would argue for a lot of those guys, it's still underpaid, undervalued, because of the value they bring to these games. People go to watch, maybe more so than the NFL. People go to watch players in basketball.
Which is why the whole load management thing pisses people off.
Irritates the hell out of them.
Because they do, in fact, go to games to see a specific player, certainly when they only come through a certain town once a year. So that's why the load management question is so infused. Listen, we're spending so much time, certainly in the Western Conference Finals, the face of the NBA, right? Who's the face of the NBA? Is it now SGA more than Anthony Edwards? It's still LeBron James and Steph Curry. Those are the faces of the National Basketball Association in 2025.
So you heard what he had to say, right? He is essentially talking about what LeBron's impact is on the market cap of the Lakers, and how he could be making $100 million a year, $200 million a year for the value that he brings. And essentially, what he's saying is that LeBron is a cash cow for the Lakers. Now, here's some interesting things about this. Number one, when Luka joined the Lakers, his jersey became the number one selling jersey, right? You have that aspect of it. There are also some people out there that say one of the reasons that the Lakers are holding on to LeBron James is because they want him to do his retirement tour in a Lakers jersey. And the more I think about that, the more that kind of makes sense. And I'll tell you why. It goes back to what Rob Pelinka said when they initially drafted Bronny James. Rob Pelinka at the time said that the Lakers want to make history. And they want to be the team that was able to have the first father and son play on the same team in the history of the NBA. And it was those comments that made me begin to think, maybe the Lakers aren't serious after all. Maybe they're more concerned about making headlines than actually winning titles. And then when you have situations like them putting up a banner for the in-season tournament cup, I began to think to myself, well, is LA turning into a sideshow here? Is it no longer about winning actual championships? Is it all about winning the headlines? Like, is that what this Laker team has become? And then it causes some of us to think, given what they're saying, he's talking about his value to the Lakers and him. We absolutely know that he is coming back to the Lakers. I think they spoke about the fact that he's picking up his player option, which could indicate, by the way, that this could potentially be LeBron's last season with the Lakers. Reason being, usually if players want to extend, they will opt out and then re-up for a longer contract. But in the case that LeBron is picking up his player option, I think is worth $50+ million. One can then begin to surmise, well, he's going to get his last contract here, and then what? Is he going to go out there and look for another contract? Or because if he's going to do that, he could have done that right now. Or is he entertaining, possibly playing in other destinations, in other towns, right? For playing for another organization. That's something that some people are wondering. I believe that possibly it could be his last year in the NBA, and I think the Lakers want to be a part of that 100%. To be a part of the headlines. You saw how it was when Kobe announced that he was going to be retiring, and it was just basically, a retirement tour, and wherever he went to, every arena, they were giving him standing ovations, and everybody was just kind of acknowledging what he meant to the league there. But I think that this is what probably the reason is. One, for monetary reasons, and two, because of just the storylines around it. And look, I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers decide to give LeBron a statue at the end of all of this. Some of y'all are like, no, that's never going to happen. It's impossible. Don't be so sure. Don't be so sure. Don't, given the set of people that they have in management right now, it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. Again, if they could go out there and hang that in-season tournament banner and try to make that into something that like as if it was something significant, I wouldn't put that past them as well. Anyway, these are my... As you guys know, we've talked about the inevitability of Charles Barkley and Inside the NBA and these guys going to ESPN. And we all know that ESPN is a network of twerking. All they do is twerk it up all day long, holler and scream, pour honey all over each other's ankles on a daily basis. They scream, they shake, right? That's what they do at ESPN there. And many of us have said, well, how is a person or personality rather like Charles Barkley going to mesh with these twerkers? How exactly is it going to work? And it turns out it's a real thing. It's a real thing. So this morning, I was going through the internet here, and I came across a pretty interesting headline from Basketball Network stating the following: if they start working me too much, I'm coming home. Charles Barkley issues a warning towards ESPN. Let's read further. With the end of the 2025 Eastern Conference Finals came the end of an award-winning Inside the NBA show. Because ESPN has the rights to air the 2025 NBA Finals, TNT will no longer have games to broadcast this season. Since it lost its rights to NBA games moving forward under the new NBA's TV deals, the greatest studio show in basketball history is also over. Well, sort of. Inside the NBA will be back next season, and TNT will continue to produce the show. However, it will be under the umbrella of Disney and broadcast on ESPN and NBC. The hosts will be back too, but they have concerns about the changes that are expected to happen. Charles Barkley appeared on the Dan Patrick Show on Monday and said his biggest concern was the work schedule under the new setup. Chuck added that he has faith in TNT and ESPN regarding that, but threatens to force his way out of his deal if the work hours become too taxing for him. I'm going to trust them because that's my biggest concern. Because that's been my biggest concern. I didn't officially sign until last week. I said I'd work for 2 more years, and that's what I agreed to. And I'm going to have to trust them. But listen, if they start trying to work me too much between ESPN and TNT, I'm going to walk on home, said Barkley. Now, there's more to this, apparently, because I was doing some more research, and I came across a report here from Front Office Sports, and it just gave some details on what this thing is supposed to look like here. It says, starting with the 2025-26 season, TNT will license the show to ESPN in exchange for a package of Big 12 college football and basketball games. Once this year's Pacers Thunder Finals concludes, the Brain Trust at Bristol will gather together to discuss their strategy for the 36-year-old program. Here's what we're hearing. There'll be an extensive post-game show, says sources. ESPN's goal is to let the post-game segment run as long as it does now on TNT. As Bomani Jones noted on his show, ESPN historically has not done post-game shows. If you're not going to do the Inside the NBA post-game show, you're getting rid of the best part. It doesn't seem like it will be a gratifying experience, but they also can't put that on ABC. That would be preposterous. It then says the following. Inside the NBA will lead ESPN's pregame and halftime programming. The show will air live during ABC ESPN's biggest events, including the NBA Finals, Conference Finals, and NBA playoffs. They'll also be featured on opening week, Christmas Day, all ABC games after January 1st, and the final week of the season. ESPN's own NBA countdown will survive, but it will be strictly a second string. Simmons did say that ESPN might F up the show, which is the part that I want to get to now. So apparently Bill Simmons, who's always outspoken, obviously used to work at ESPN, founded the Ringer, $100+ million company. Bill Simmons took it a step further because Bill Simmons believed that these guys are going to find a fantastic way to absolutely screw up the entire show. So what we want to do now is we want to play exactly what Bill Simmons had to say about how he thinks this thing is going to unfold moving forward. And then we're going to come back and give you guys our thoughts. Take a listen to Bill Simmons here.
And it's still going to continue on ESPN.
Right.
And yet,
just say what you want to say.
I think ESPN's going to up. I don't care if I get aggregated.
Zag. I didn't understand.
I think they're going to up. I don't think they unless they completely change how they do commercials, the show is going to be different and people are going to be pissed and Barkley and those guys are going to be pissed. And I think it's going to go badly. The only way it doesn't go badly is if they do the commercials and they give them the lengthy segments that you need to have that show work. They're going to have to change how they do it. They just paid so much for the NBA that if they don't do that and they do these same short, terrible segments that you're about to see in the finals, where it's like a 1.5 minute halftime and it's like a 20-minute pregame, if they do that, they're going to up and everybody's going to be mad. So I'm going to start there, Russillo.
They did pay a lot for the NBA. So then to say now all of a sudden you're not going to have all that commercial inventory, because we've talked about the halftime show ESPN with people that we really like that are on the show, maybe others that aren't necessarily our favorites, but I barely catch it. Like that's the 15-minute timer to get something done around the house,
right?
For me. And if I do catch some of it, I mean, it's just a lot. It's like, oh, the best player on the team went 2 for 10. Okay.
Somebody's got to step up.
Yeah. He's going to get scolded. Like, okay, here we go. It's a 30-second scolding. And then I don't know who okayed. Maybe it was because everybody was trying to be the TNT show, but the analysts talking to break, nobody's good at it, folks. Nobody's good at it. It's just confusing. You're like, are we in commercial or are we doing Carl's Jr. here? I don't understand.
It started with PTI 25 years ago, and they're the only ones who are really good at it.
Okay, thank you.
It.
Little history lesson. I actually think the people that are at the very top with ESPN know this, and
they haven't cared whoever's running ESPN has not cared for this entire century about this. This is something they knew was a problem, and they just didn't care. They just cashed the checks from the commercials.
Yeah,
they did not care about the quality of any show they had.
All right, but if it's going to be on the model of like we bring it in, but you get to do your thing, then don't you think that's the negotiation? Don't you think that's part of it to even get this?
I think you could say that coming out of the gate. Oh yeah, no, it's going to be the same. And then you get there, and I've literally witnessed this in situations I've been in. Once you're actually there, it's like, oh yeah, that halftime's going to now be a minute and a half because we got this giant.
I don't think they're going to do that, man. I don't think they're that. I don't think they're going to do that.
They've done it this whole century, is my point.
Excellent. So you heard what he had to say. What are my thoughts about this? I think I would have to agree with Bill Simmons. ESPN has been heavily criticized for their halftime shows that they do. They say they spend sometimes a total of 60 to 90 seconds or maybe 2 minutes talking and analyzing these games during halftime, and the rest of it is just them bombarding their viewers with commercials. And we all know that's simply not going to work, right? So they're either going to have to do it exactly how TNT and these guys used to do, how they used to produce the show, or they're going to have to change things. That's the first part. The second thing, and I keep harping back to it, I think there's going to be a clash here. I really do. Because I don't see Charles Barkley sitting up there twerking it up the way that they like to. You know that the ESPN likes to promote the Lakers all day long. Even if the Lakers are good or not good, they like to just keep kind of, or LeBron, they try to do it every single second. And a person like Charles Barkley is simply not going to dance to their tune. And I think he's going to create a lot of awkward exchanges for those guys. I don't know if they're going to have him visit certain segments like on ESPN First Take when you got these people up there twerking all day long and you invite Charles Barkley and he'll make the entire thing awkward. I don't know, but I do think that's going to be an issue. And I think it's something that we need to watch out for. Because if they find a way, ESPN is going to look for a way to try to pour honey on them. You already know, and Charles don't look like he's going for it.